Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be sharing a recipe for garlic beef. Now this is a requested video from one of my subscriber and also my viewer on Facebook. Be sure to check out all the ingredients and measurements that will be listed in the description box under this video. Now here is the first step. Now here's what you will need to put this recipe together. I have my beef, white vinegar, salt, sugar, thyme. I have 2 Wir Wir Pepper, and these are pickled Wir Wir Pepper. I have some garlic, pimento pepper. I have 2 bay leaves, and in here I have some peppercorn, clove, and allspice. The first thing we want to do is prepare our seasoning. So we'll place everything to the side and I'll continue preparing the seasoning. Now to my mortar and pestle, I add in my thyme and I'm just gonna smash it a little bit, just smash to get some of that juice out of the leaves. Now after you're done smashing that a little bit, you're gonna add in your garlic here, and we're going to use quite a few cloves of garlic, and I'm just gonna smash this here as well. Not too fine, just until they're cracked and minced a little bit. And now that we're done smashing the garlic, we're gonna add in our pimento pepper, and I'm also gonna add in my 2 Wir Wir Pepper here. Now to my mixing bowl, I'll add in my beef, and these I already wash and dry them thoroughly. You wanna make sure that they are dry thoroughly, no bloody water, no drippings or nothing. You also wanna make sure when you're placing it in a bowl, your bowl is clean and dry thoroughly. And now to that, I will add in all my seasoning here. And I'm just gonna mix this in. And now we'll place this on the side. Here I have a glass jar that I will be pickling my meat in. You want to make sure when you wash your jar, you dry it thoroughly, and then you can rinse it out with a little bit of vinegar. That's what I did. The liquid in there, if you're seeing any liquid in there, that's some vinegar I just rinsed my jar out in to avoid anything from spoiling. And now you want to just lay your meat one at a time in the bottom here. And you're going to try every layer you put, you can pick up some of the seasoning and just place it in the jar. So now that all the meat is in the jar, you just want to scrape off the rest of the seasoning from the bowl and add it to the jar here as well. And now I'm going to go in with all of my spices here. And I'm going to add in my salt and my sugar. And now we're going to add in the vinegar. And you're going to pour it right on top of the meat, washing all the salt and the sugar to the bottom. And you want to make sure whenever you're pickling meat, any meat, whether it's beef or pork, it must be pickled with white vinegar. So now that you add everything to the jar, you just want to take a spoon and push all the meat down to the bottom, making sure that none of the meat is showing on the top, because that can cause your meat or your pickle to spoil. You can also add some more vinegar if you think it's needed. You want to just make sure that all the meat is submerged under the vinegar. You want to do everything and anything to prevent your pickle from spoiling. Now that we have everything in a jar, we just want to cover it. And you want to allow this to pickle for 3 to 4 days. If you're keeping this in the fridge because you're afraid to keep it on your counter, you will need to leave it in the fridge for about 7 days before you start using it. Usually when it's in the fridge, it takes a longer time to pickle or preserve. So I like to keep it on my countertop for 3 days. It cures faster and I'm able to use it faster. So I'll just place this on my counter now, and I'll see you guys back in 3 to 4 days. So 4 days later, and we're proceeding to the next step. And here are the other ingredients you will need to continue with this recipe. I have here some oil, And for my dry ingredients, I will be using some beef bouillon, paprika, and complete seasoning. I have here some freshly minced garlic, and in my plate here I have some cilantro, scallions, red chili, some fine thyme or some thyme. And here I have some small white baby onion that I kept in circles for presentation purpose. You don't have to do that. So now let's place this to the side, and it's time to open up our beef. So you will need a strainer and a bowl to catch the water. And if you pickled a lot of beef, you can use half of it now, and you can store the rest in the fridge. After pickling it for the 4 days on your counter, you can put the rest of it in your fridge for the next day and use it however you want, because it can last a really long time in the fridge. So after you're done removing the beef from your jar, you'll just allow it to sit there and drip off for a few minutes. Now the liquid that's left in the jar, you can discard of that. We have no use for that anymore. Now what you want to do is grab yourself a piece of bounty paper, and we're going to dry the beef thoroughly. We want to take all the liquid out, or as much as we can take out. And you also want to brush off all the excess seasoning that is on the meat. They have already served their purpose, so no need to keep them there. They're just going to stay there and burn in the oil and cause a mess. So you can just brush those out. So I'll just continue drying the rest of them, and I'll come back and show you guys when I'm ready for the next step. So guys, when you're done drying your beef and preparing it, this is how it should be looking. Now we're going to head over to the stove and start the next step. Now to my non-stick frying pan, I'm going to turn my stove on to medium-high heat, and I'll be adding in 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. Now that your oil came up to a nice hot temperature, you're going to add in your beef. And after you add in all your beef, you're just going to allow them to cook and brown up on all sides. It is not necessary to add any water to cook this. Whatever water or juice that is released from the beef, you're just going to cover the pot and allow that water to dry back out before you remove the beef from the pan. Remember, before you remove the beef, it should be nice and brown. We're looking for a nice golden brown color or a dark brown color. So guys, as you can see, all the water that was released is almost drying out now, and we're starting to achieve that nice brown color we're looking for. Now this is the color I am looking for. So I'm going to start removing them out of the oil and set them aside and allow them to cool down for a bit. Now while the meat is cooling down, let's prepare our pan for the next step. If you would like to discard the oil in the pan, you can do so, but it's not necessary to. I am going to use my oil back. I'll just scrape it out and take out all the burn seasoning that is in the pan, and I will be using the same oil again. So feel free to use the same oil. You can also remove a little bit of oil if you think that there's too much oil in the pan. And now you want to slice the beef into small pieces. You want to make sure when you're slicing them that you slice them against the grain. So guys, what I know some people do is after they finish cutting this into small pieces, they will serve it up as it is. But the other step that I will show you, it's my way of doing it. I find that is much more delicious this way, and I highly recommend that you try it this way. If not, you can just serve this up as it is with any dipping sauce of your choice, or any bread, or however you would like to serve this up. But I highly recommend you try it my way. Now moving on to the next step, you will bring your oil back up to a nice hot temperature, and right after you will add in your garlic. You will allow that to fry in the oil for about a minute or so. You don't want the garlic to get dark in color. You just want them to infuse a little bit in the oil. And now you want to add in your beef. And now you'll add in your dry ingredients and you'll give it a stir and allow everything to combine really nice. And now I'm going to add in my freshly chopped green seasoning. And just after you add in your veggie, you want to turn the stove off and allow the heat from the pan to soften the veggie a bit. You don't want it to get too soft because you want every bite to have that nice crunchiness from the veggie. And there you have it, guys, my garlic beef recipe. Now I'm going to plate some of this up and I'll show you guys the end result. So guys, here's the end result of my garlic beef recipe. I do hope you give this recipe a try. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet subscribed for more videos. As usual, I want to say thank you for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye!